Hello. Let me get where I can see people's. I am eating chocolate almonds. Chocolate coconut almonds to be more precise. They're so good. Come here. I thought about doing some like joke or whatever, but then I was like, probably not a good idea. Particularly in this day and age. I've also been thinking about a controversial topic that I feel like will just yeet me off of the internet if I even discuss it. Come here. And I might at some point discuss it. But probably not right now. You want up here? You can hop up here. Come here. Sometimes I talk ideas over with some friends and they're like, Jillian, no, don't. I'm like, but it's true. And they're like, doesn't mean you need to discuss it. A, it's not really your place. B, that's a good way to get canceled or whatever. Or to make a large portion of people mad. So I'm just like, okay. Oh, I had an interesting customer again the other day. Be nice. Okay. Older guy came in this pickup truck. Rolled down his window like I was putting away, I was moving the door stops. And he wheeled up and he's like, do you have this? Do you have that? I'm like, we don't really have, what was he looking for? A desk. Desk and a reading chair. Now, what he was wanting for a desk is more like a gamer desk. Like a huge long one, big enough for like 8 monitors. Who uses freaking 8 monitors? I want to know. Like, if you're a gamer and a streamer, maybe 3. But 8? What are you doing, my dude? What? I don't have anything. Here. Here, you want that? That's all I got. But, he was wanting one that could support like 8 monitors. We don't have anything that big. We hardly have desks. Meow. Come here. You want up here? Like, I want to say my longest desk is maybe 5 foot. Maybe. I don't think it's quite that long. And it's narrow. And there's no holes in it for the wires. And it has like this top cabinet type space that if you had particularly tall monitor, it wouldn't be good for. And the rest of our desks are relatively small. Our next biggest one is about 3.5, 3 foot, something like that. Like, they're tiny. They're not meant for gamer / marketing type stuff. They're meant for like literally a home office. You know, your computer, maybe a printer / scanner. And that's about it that could fit on some of those desks. Meow, did you finally decide to join me? I swear she hates this mattress that I got. Half the time, if she gets down to get her food or whatever, she's like, meow, meow, pick me up, meow. I'm like, honey boo boo child. You need to be able to get up here on your own. Yeah. And it's not like she doesn't have... I have a toy chest at the end of my bed. And then there's like a little... like a chest underneath that. And then some pillows on top of the toy chest in one spot. And it kind of makes a So it's not like, oh, your cat's getting old. She needs a staircase. Let it be. No, she's just stubborn. She has another accent point that specifically made to where if it was her joints or whatever, she wouldn't have any trouble. I have, and I even showed it to you. Don't look at me like that. But anyway, she's just stubborn. And the customer... Sorry, y'all. I'm tired. So my brain is scrambled. And I get sidetracked easily. Y'all know this. And I told him pretty much from the beginning, no, we don't have any desk like what he was looking for. We did have some quote unquote reading chair. They're not really meant for just purely reading chairs. They're meant for like reclining. But yeah, I guess you could use them for that. Reading chairs. Purely reading chairs. And like he was wanting one that was leather. He had Boston accent, so it was more like leather. I can't say it like he did. Not that I have a right to comment on somebody's accent, 'cause I got one too. But, we do have something that kind of fit the requirements of the reading chair. So he came on in, and I told my coworker, because we're on an up system, you know, I'm sorry, he just sort of started asking me questions and barged in. I didn't think I stole your up, and he's like, I know, I saw. I was like, okay. The guy was weird. And I showed him the leather recliner that we have. It's like, 600, I think. It may be more than that. The sofa and love seat's like 1,200. It may be 7. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I told him how much it was. It has like lumbar and it's leather for the body touches, and like it's the top of our brand, like it's our brand, but it's like the top of the line of what we carry. And like it has still springs, mechanisms, the triple power of high-speed USB ports. Like, this thing has bells and whistles. And the guy was like, that's a really expensive. And I said, well, I've got some that are not leather that's in the $500 range. And I've got some that are a little bit cheaper, that $100 range. And he's like, do you have anything that's in the $250 range? No. I didn't laugh at him, but no. I said no. The most inexpensive ones I have, and I named them, are such and such and such and such. And they're $299.95. And they're not leather. They're not even a polyurethane. They're not a leather. They're the cloth polyester. Like the true microfiber but it feels like fuzzy fabric. Well, one of them's fuzzy with like a polyurethane bottom, like it's a two-toned, and it's like a green, like it looks green. It's like listed as brown, but it looks freaking green. And it matches like a sectional or whatever. And it's $2.99. And then the other one that we have is more of a neutral tone gray. I'm trying to think. It's just a normal liner. There's nothing fancy about it. But I don't like how non-supportive the legs are, so it's not necessarily one I would recommend. I don't know if that's just the floor model that we have, even though it's more or less new from the box. Like, we just unboxed this thing, not... Or if it's the actual mechanisms and whatever inside. And, you know, I told him about that. I said, your best bet is to go with, if you're wanting something not quite as expensive, and I recommended one. I said, now it will not be leather, and it will not be powered. It'll not be, you know, it won't have anything on it. It's just going to be a normal recliner, which is fine. And he's like, I don't know, I really like this one. Can't you do a better deal on it? We're a corporate store. No. I mean, for freaking sake. Oh, and he kept talking about marketing and stuff. Like, he was a double major. I use quotation marks for that because I'm not really sure. And, he was like, oh, do you all carry sheets? And we do carry some, but that's not our main focus. Like, we don't sell that many of them. And we don't have a huge selection. You could get them freaking cheaper almost anywhere freaking else. You could get them freaking cheaper at Bed Bath & Beyond. And he was wanting freaking Egyptian cotton. Like, okay. That's fine. Oh, and apparently some religious set of Jews, apparently, according to him, which I don't think this is really a thing, have to use Egyptian cotton. I don't think so. So, and even if that was true, there's not that many Jewish people in my city. And it's not like you can't find them anywhere else. And I was telling him, you can find it at, Kohl's, Belk's, Bed Bath & Beyond, Amazon. You can, probably cheaper too, because our sheets are stupid expensive. And they're not the greatest quality. They're not cheap quality, but they're not Egyptian cotton or whatever. And he's like, well, y'all need to buy out Bed Bath & Beyond and do a cross-promotional. I'm like, we don't make that kind of decisions on the individual store level. B, we've been in business, not our personal chain of it, but the business has been going for so many years. So apparently they kind of know what they're doing. It's not like we're a new thing. And, not only that, but the fact that we know historically sheets are a waste of freaking time. We don't make that much commission from the sheets. A. B. They go in and out of style like nobody's business. And C. You can get them pretty much cheaper anywhere else. Like literally almost anywhere else. You want to pay $100 freaking for a basic pair of sheets? You go right ahead, honey. Oh, and he wanted us to run some promotional called the Lovers Special around Valentine's Day, where you sold like 52 sheets for a set price. What the actual hell? I mean, okay, his argument for this was, I feel like I'm repeating crazy, that people are supposed to change their sheets once a day, or once a week. Yeah, okay. How many weeks are there in a year? Okay. How many weeks are in a year? Google. How many weeks are in a year? 52.14-ish weeks. So that's why he was doing the 52. But hasn't he heard of a freaking washing machine? Which is why a lot of times when these like retailers like Kohl's, Belk's, Bed Bath & Beyond, I'm sure I'm missing some, but that's why they do linen sales where it's buy one, get one, and you get one for the bed, one for the closet, and you just let the one for the closet live freaking there until you're ready to do laundry again. And then you put your dirty sheets into the wash, You put the ones from the closet in the thing. Clean sheets into the closet. That's what you're supposed to do. And even if someone didn't want to do laundry or whatever for 52 weeks or whatever, that would be so freaking expensive to buy all those sheets. Even if it was like $28 per bed linens, which that's mega expensive. Most of the times, for a decent pair of linens that will actually last you a decent amount of time, when they're not on sale, they should be about at least about $30. And that's not even mega nice ones. That's just halfway decent ones. If you're getting them cheaper than that, those sheets aren't worth bringing home, honey. And who has the room for 52 pairs of sheets? One whole closet would be dedicated to pure sheets, because most households have more than one bed. You have the mother, the father, the parents' bed, the kids, so assuming one kid per parent. So that's at least 2 beds, and most households, married couples or otherwise, have 2.5 kids, or at least that's the last average I've heard. But he was spouting off all these numbers, and I would spout, I would go, well, we don't make those types of decisions in the regional level or on the store level. You'd have to talk to corporate about that sort of thing. And then his argument, well, y'all are so rich, you don't want to make money, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, again, we don't make those types of decisions on this level. Do you want corporate's number? And I gave him corporate's number. I'm sorry that I have unleashed this crazy person upon you. But after 5-10-ish minutes of this, I got fed up. Like, I have the patience of a saint, but after a while, even this saint gets tired of it. Like, God may love all the idiots and sinners and whatever, and that's well and good. And he told me to try and love them, but, not today. Or yesterday. Well, it was a couple days ago. And so, after him spouting off the nonsense about the 52 sheets or whatever, I was trying to out-logic a crazy person, which probably not the best tactic. Because I have lots of random facts stored into my closet of knowledge, and I just started spouting off, well, did you know the average person only changes their sheets, once a month or whatever. So it's more like every 4 weeks or every 2 weeks. And yeah, it's once every 2 weeks, so it's twice a month. Well, did you know that the average household has 3.5 beds? Oh, well, that's interesting. Did you know that the average computer monitor weighs about 5 pounds and gives off at least 5 degrees worth of heat adds 5 degrees worth of difference of heat to a room? So therefore, I would highly recommend getting like a ceiling fan and a really strong, sturdy desk for your monitors. He would spout off all the crazy again, like, y'all just don't want to make more money. You're all just so rich. I'm like, well, like I said, you need to call corporate with your ideas. I'm sure they'd be glad to hear it. Like, I tried to out-logic the crazy person. That there was no reaching the planet of that customer. He was out there in outer space. I was trying to phone home for ET, and he didn't want to come back to Earth. And no. Oh my God. God help him. God bless him. God, please don't know. And he wanted me to write him a quote. He had barely looked at anything. He wanted a headboard, nothing else. Which we can sell stuff like that. A nightstand and a dining set. A desk that was an L shape, which we don't have, and I kept repeating that. And he's like, well, you can find me one. Where do you want me to pull it out from, hun? My hoo-ha? Like, where do you want me to find this? At Staples? I can find it at Staples for you. From Staples for you. To you, but I can find it at Staples for you, and you can then go over to Staples and get it from them. But I can't sell it to you. You have to go over there. Anyway, so I wrote him, and he left, and I was like, I'd asked him, which bed set did you like? And I'll write you up a quote. And he's like, oh, it doesn't matter, just pick me one. Do you know how many freaking bed sets we freaking have? Do you know how many freaking combinations of stuff people... Because even though I might have a set, let's say, I'm going to give it a fake name just so y'all don't know which company I work for. How many brown bed sets I have, and a lot of them you can kind of mix and match with. So even if you like the headboard of bed set A, you could get the nightstands from bed set number 5 or whatever. There are several of them you can kind of mix and match. And then, like, if he's not getting the 5-piece set, which is like the headboard, footboard, railings, the dresser, and the mirror, it doesn't really matter. He can mix and match all the heck he wants at that point. And anyway, he was like, I don't care, just pick me one. I'm like, okay. And so he left, and I wrote him a quote for a love seat he found that he liked. He didn't pick out a sofa, even though he said he wanted a quote for it, because the sofa he had kind of was looking at had been discontinued, and the one on the floor had already been sold, and I had told him that multiple times. He's like, well, just pick me out a different one. So I did. What else? Oh, dining set, which, okay. The dining set, sofa, love seat, a nightstand, a headboard, a chest, and he didn't know which one was the chest and which one was the dresser, which I can kind of understand that because people get those switched all the time. But I explained to him, the tall one's the chest, the long one is the dresser. Which one do you want? And he kept flopping it around even then. And I was like, okay. And he was like, I want one of those. And so he left. Like, he was in there forever just talking about nonsensicalness. And he left, and I wrote him, it's over $4,000 worth of stuff in a quote. I buy from us. I really, really don't. I would be super shocked if he did. But I did what he asked. But what guarantee do I have that this is what you really wanted? Oh, and he looked like he hadn't washed his hair in like a month. He didn't smell bad that I noticed, but I was wearing a mask and I'm kind of congested anyway. So maybe his hair is just greasy. Because I knew a girl in, was it high school or middle school? I think it was middle school. She washed her hair all the freaking time. But her hair was so oily that it looked nasty all the freaking time. And she was complaining about it to me, and I was like, well, have you I played with her hair a little, and she was like, I wish my hair was more like yours, Jillian, all floofy. And I was like, well, I don't know if it'll help your texture, but your hair feels a little bit oily. It doesn't and I asked her what kind of shampoo she was using, and it was like made specifically for like dry scalp or whatever. Awesome. And it was a good brand. It was like Dove or what's another over the counter that's, or grocery store that's decent. Maybe Olay, but anyway, it doesn't matter. And I was like, well, it feels like your hair is a little bit oily rather than dry. You might want to try the shampoo where it's made for oily hair, and it might help your texture as well to be like more floof, like less clingy to each other. And she's like, oh, okay. And so she tried out a different shampoo. I'd recommended Dove. I don't think she was using Dove. She was using a different one, because that's what I use 90% of the time is the Dove shampoo. And like my skin's super dry, so it works great for it. But they have like an oily version as well. And she tried it, liked it, and it worked good for her. So I don't know if that's what she's stuck with or what, but she was kind of funny about it. But this guy, I mean, and he was like in a wife beater shirt, and he wore overalls, and his overalls and his pants were not big enough for his freaking ness. And I don't think too much about that. It was just his whole demeanor was a bit off. Like, I felt like he was a compulsive liar. Like, he was saying how whenever he went to Boston University or wherever the heck he was from, he had originally majored in something else, and he has a major in something, and then he went back for his for another degree, and he wanted to switch his major to like marketing, and they at first wouldn't let him because you could only, like, he's already got a master's in whatever, and their thing was that he couldn't get a second master's in whatever. Like, he had to go for a doctorate or whatever. And I know for a fact that's a baloney. I have a brother who's in like the college age range where he teaches, and so I know that's bull. Like, I'm not saying you can go for two majors at the same time, but you can have two freaking majors. Like, fully baloney. He was so full of baloney. It wasn't even funny. It wasn't even funny. And for those who are wondering, I ever live in mind, in terms of why I'm drawing the Magnificent Maiden, who's my OC, as a lamb. A, it's really cute and adorable. B, her civilian name, Tafia, is technically from the Bible, and it's like got Celtic roots or whatever. And it means maiden, which is one reason why I chose it. It also means lamb, little lamb. And And when I found that out, which is, I knew it meant maiden, but I did not know draw YouTube. Oh, right now I'm coloring, technically. And what was I saying? I'm sorry, y'all. My brain is scrambled today. But, he was just a weird dude, that customer was. Hopefully he won't come back. Sugar Daddy has, for those who don't know, I've had a creepy dude drive by a huge amount, and then he freaking canceled on me. Like, freaking made me do all that work. He has come back a few other times and has wanted smaller things. I mean, like, oh my god, he stresses me out so freaking bad. I don't think I'm an odd duck. I own my oddness. And I don't think, I don't have a problem with people who march to their own beat of their own drum. But, when you're on a totally different planet, that's when I look at you funny. And maybe he had, some mental whatever that told him it was okay to harass a poor girl at a furniture place. And he apparently couldn't get a... Anyway, I hope y'all doing well. If you have any interesting April Fool's stories, let me know down below. I tried to do a few April Fool's jokes when I was little. One was me. I had this netting, and I decided it looked like blood. And I got to stick to my knee by way of Elmer's glue. And I went outside, snuck the Elmer's glue out with me, and proceeded to fall, quote unquote. How good of an actor I was is to be debatable. Showed the teacher my skinned knee. She looked at me like I was high. She's like, "Oh, okay, Jillian." And she sent me off to the nurse, and the nurse just proceeded to wipe it off and give me a band-aid. And she's like, "There, you're all better now. You're welcome." I was like, okay. Sorry. I'm surprised I didn't get in trouble for that nonsensicalness. I think that's my only, like, really weird one that I can think of. My brother, he's kind of a jokester. When he was about 21, I guess, he came home on spring break or whatever, and the had asked him to bring the paper in because we got the shopper or whatever, and he was like, okay, sure. And so he brought in the shopper, and inside he had rolled up this like little toy thing. I don't know if you all know what this is, but it's basically this raccoon tail thing that's on the end of a ball, and the ball rolls around in these like chip bags. They were really popular back in the early 2000s. And like, he had been working at a toy place, and they had like one of the balls or whatever stopped working, period, and they were gonna just throw it out. So he grabbed the little raccoon tail part, or that's what it looks like, kinda, and he'd taken this raccoon looking tail, and hid it inside the newspaper. And, he brought it in. She screamed because she was deathly afraid of like mice and stuff, and she had thought something had gotten into it outside. And he showed her, like, look, Mom, it's a stuffed animal, haha. And thus a game started. And he hid that thing everywhere for the next let's see, I want to say he stopped playing the game about 6 years ago, so several years before she passed. Part of it was about that time. She had 6 years ago, she had like a really bad health scare. She had really bad pancreatitis, and it had sent her into having like a super mild heart attack. But ever since then, he was scared that if he would do the trick, it might actually kill her. And so, but he hid that thing. I'm trying to think of where all he hid it. He hid it inside my aunt's birthday package for her one time. He hid it in mugs and her suitcase. Oh my god, one time he took it to the beach with him, and like, you'd think she would have learned. It sounded so hicky right there. Learned that, like, okay, he has it with him, so anytime he says, "Mom, come here," I should maybe be on my toes. But nope, she didn't. So he asked her to help him make his bed, which at this time he was... What year was that? I think I was 13, so he would have been 23. I think. Do not quote me on that. But anyway, so he was old enough to make his own freaking bed. And I wouldn't think too much about if he had asked any other year, but he had never really asked for help for that sort of thing before. Like, I usually would help my aunt make her bed because she would be more tired from driving all day. And usually I would stay in her room anyway. So it was technically my bed too. I'm trying to think. Mom usually didn't ask for help. Or if she did, it was just the comforter because it was so heavy. But anyway, if he had asked almost any other year, but he had hidden the raccoon there and she screamed. He hid it in the crock pot. He hid it in one of the cabinets, in the fridge. Where? Oh, in her beach freaking bag. Like, mug. There's a few other places. And she didn't just go, ah! It was a blood curdling, as loud as she could scream 90% of the time. Like a legitimate, like, oh my god, I think I might die, or it's actually a mouse, or whatever type of scream. And she, and there wasn't like a delayed reaction or whatever, so it's not like it was a genuine scream. So it wasn't like she was just playing along. And she was like, legitimately scared of that thing when she first saw it. Now, once she realized it was like just Robert being Robert playing a game, that was a totally different thing. Like, she'd be like, oh, okay, ha 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 ha. The person next door to us must have thought we were trying to murder someone. Okay, I think I've got all of her hair. Say yay. Yay. Oh, I forgot to freaking draw her orb of purity. Or the orb of light. By the way, has anyone seen freaking Godzilla in versus Kong? I kind of want to see it. But at the same time, I freaking want Godzilla to whoop Kong's buttocks. Like, that may not be right of me, but Godzilla is king of beasts, honey. He's not been defeated ever, as far as I know. And even if Kong went through an illegitimate growth spurt that he didn't freaking earn, or is historically accurate to the character, Godzilla is stronger. And if Godzilla doesn't get you, Mothra is gonna get you. You don't mess with Mothra's man. No, no, no. I'm sure I'm being super controversial here in picking Godzilla. I was like, I'm sorry, but I like Godzilla better. And besides, as far as I know, Kong is just a normal freaking ape, but he's supersized. There's no atomic breath. There is no superpower. Is being able to find the blonde chick a superpower? Because last time I checked, it's not. Atomic breath wins. Was it Death Battle? It's Death Battle that's like does the little like battles or whatever. Like where Kong would like feel like I've gotten majorly off topic. But where Kong would have the advantage over Godzilla, maybe speed. Because Godzilla is like kind of slow, at least according to some incarnations of him. But Godzilla knows like Kung Fu basically. not only that, excuse me, but not only that, strength-wise, Godzilla is stronger. Because, okay, if you look at Godzilla is basically a dinosaur, right? Or or maybe a crocodile, or a, what other animals is it inspired by? He's got a bunch of different ones. A crocodile, an alligator, I don't know, but he's got the advantage. And he plot, if you're all like, well, Kong is smarter. Godzilla outsmarts his enemies all the friggin' time in the old stuff. Well, Jillian, it's a remake. It's not gonna be accurate to the old stuff. Okay, sure. But if they're basing it on the older stuff, historically speaking, Godzilla holds the advantage on all levels of the playing field. Like, I hate to tell you, anyway, I think I'm gonna quit for tonight. I'm falling asleep more than normal. And I'm gonna brush my teeth first. Anyway, in case I don't happen to see y'all again, happy Easter. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you around next time. Bye bye.